Listen, I think I found the craziest rune farm for Elden Ring and for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Potentially getting 1 million runes every 5 minutes. There are 2 variations of this rune farm, one of which that is a little bit more accessible, and one that has to get done after you defeat your first playthrough or right after you defeat the Elden beast. So it requires a bit of setup to start. Let's go through it. The first thing to note is that you would be required to have gone into Mogwyn Palace and start off at the Palace Approach Ledge Road Site of Grace. That looks like this. Here in the Mogwyn Palace, we start off with the most known rune farm here, which requires us to hit that bird from up here. Hit that bird and then it falls to the ground, giving us runes safely from up here. That's probably the first and most well-known active rune farm. But here's a little bit of variation that involves all of these mobs and enemies in this corner here. The first thing to note is that you're going to need a couple things. Number one, you're going to need the Sacred Relic Sword. The Sacred Relic Sword you get after defeating the Elden beast. Now, you want to upgrade it to at least +7, so that way you can use its main attack, Wave of Gold. So, to reiterate, we need to get to Mogwyn Palace, Site of Grace, Palace Approach Ledge Road. We need to have the Sacred Relic Sword, and we need to also have, this is a key thing, a ranged weapon, either a bow or I like to use this. And the reason being is because that it auto targets. Now, you can change this up. You don't have to use the Regal Omen. You can use a bow or so on and so forth. And how it works is once you come out of the Site of Grace, you attack the bird here. Once it comes and it drops, you make a right turn and we start unloading on these enemies. I usually like to hit 3 in a row, 1 behind, 1 in the middle, and then 1 closer down, just in case. And then we rinse and repeat. Now, with these numbers again, I'm also using a gold pickle fruit foul foot, which gives me a rune buff, and I'm also using the gold scarab. A good rule of thumb for the bird here is that whenever he's past the tree is probably best. That way you can hit it every time. Again, right by this bloodstain here. First pop. Second pop. Third pop just in case. So roughly when adding up the total for all the runes collected with all the buffs added as well, first for the bird, it's roughly about 34,000 runes that you can get for just hitting the bird. Then for each of the swings of the Wave of Gold, it's roughly about 6,400 runes. Okay, again, that's 34,000 runes for hitting the bird. And then 6,400 every swing for hitting Wave of Gold. That was the best new rune farm for Elden Ring and Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Thanks for watching, guys.